Hello everyone, hope you're having a great day. My name is Vince and thank you for joining me for another episode of Secrets of the Trails. Today we're in Meyersdale, Pennsylvania, ready to check out the Great Allegheny Passage segment from Meyersdale to Garrett. Meyersdale is one of those quintessential trailhead towns along the Great Allegheny Passage. It has a lot of features for hikers and bikers and is a very trail-friendly town. The Meyersdale trailhead here is a rather large and very popular trailhead for the Great Allegheny Passage, accessible from Main Street. It sits at the site of the former Western Maryland Railway Terminal, now the Meyersdale Area Historical Society. This building houses a museum focused on the area's heritage, including rail, coal, and lumber industries. It also has a souvenir and snack shop, full restrooms, and a gorgeous model train setup. Outside, there's a Western Maryland Railway caboose that can be toured during certain hours. Parking is plentiful. There are technically 3 lots. There's this small gravel area abutting Main Street right next to the trail that's marked for 2-vehicle handicapped access. There's this large paved and lined lot that can hold 24 vehicles. And this gravel lot, technically behind the paved lot, with access for approximately another 20 vehicles. This incredible trailhead also has multiple seating areas, both open air and a few benches next to the building that are shaded, as well as bike racks, lock posts, and a bicycle repair station. Now, while not technically at the trailhead itself, there are some e-bike charging stations and a new community green space in Meyersdale, sponsored jointly by Meyersdale Borough, Meyersdale Area Merchants Association, and Meyersdale Renaissance Incorporated. Each location features GFCI outlets intended for topping off batteries during visits to the business district. Just a word about this location. It's actually down Main Street from the trailhead itself. The trailhead is at the top of that hill right there, beyond the railroad tracks that you can see a train is crossing across right now. So if you're intending to top up at this green space, it's definitely a climb back uphill to the trailhead itself. But let me just say, trekking downhill to top up, or not if you don't have an e-bike, is worth it. Meyersdale has several magnificent B&Bs, guest houses, and a boutique inn to greet hikers and cyclists. Oh, and let's not forget several family restaurants, a drugstore, and a pizzeria. The Maple Festival Campground is open seasonally for those on a budget. All in all, Meyersdale is a very biker and hiker friendly trail town. So before we mount up and check out this trail segment, let's take a brief look at the history of this trailhead town, Meyersdale. Initially part of a larger tract of land, sometimes known as the Glades, Meyersdale was primarily settled by German and Swiss immigrants in the mid-18th century. The borough was named after Peter Myers, an early settler who played a significant role in the community's development. Meyersdale was officially incorporated as a borough in 1874. Meyersdale saw significant growth with the advent of the railroads in the 1870s. The arrival of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad transformed the town into a crucial hub for transportation and commerce. The discovery and exploitation of coal reserves in the surrounding areas spurred economic growth. Coal mining became a major industry, attracting workers and fostering the town's expansion. The creation of the Western Maryland Railroad's expansion cemented Meyersdale as a major railroad hub. Prosperity smiled on Meyersdale, driven by the coal and railroad industries. The town's population grew, and it developed a vibrant commercial district. During this time, significant infrastructure was developed, including schools, churches, and public buildings, which contributed to the town's communal and cultural life. As coal mining declined in the mid-20th century, Meyersdale has capitalized on its historical and natural assets to attract tourists. The Great Allegheny Passage is a major contributor to the town's business and tourism, along with small businesses and agriculture that adds to the local economy. Meyersdale is known as Pennsylvania's Maple City. The Pennsylvania Maple Festival is an annual event celebrating the region's maple syrup production that has become a significant cultural and economic event for Meyersdale. It draws thousands of visitors each year and showcases the town's heritage and community spirit. The Meyersdale Area Historical Society and other local organizations have worked to preserve the town's historical sites and promote its rich history. The Meyersdale Railroad Museum sits inside the former Western Maryland Railway Station, now serving as the Great Allegheny Passage's trailhead, and is itself a notable attraction that highlights the town's railroad heritage. Meyersdale is a quintessential small American town with a rich history, vibrant community, and beautiful natural surroundings. Whether you're visiting Meyersdale for the annual Maple Festival, exploring the Great Allegheny Passage, or simply enjoying the peaceful lifestyle, Meyersdale offers a unique and welcoming experience. Hope you enjoyed that look at the history of Meyersdale, and now it's time to mount up and check out the Great Allegheny Passage segment from Meyersdale to Garrett. Starting at the Meyersdale Trailhead parking area, this segment from Meyersdale to Garrett is 4.6 miles point to point. Though this is actually just one of the shortest segments on the Great Allegheny Passage, some of the sights on this short segment make it well worth it. As usual, the treadway surface is primarily crushed limestone. There are paved road crossings along the way, and the entire deck of the Salisbury Viaduct is a cement surface. The average treadway width is about 8 to 10 feet in this segment. One of the first features we'll see as we're leaving the trailhead at mile 32.1 is this small little tunnel going over. Starting at Meyersdale, the trail is a consistent approximately 0.5 to 0.8% downslope all the way to Garrett. So even if you're using Meyersdale as a staging area to Garrett or points further west, the returning upslope isn't that harsh. It's definitely doable for most riders and hikers. One of those road crossings we mentioned over Johnny Popper Road. Just 1.5 miles in on this segment, over there is what's called the Johnny Popper Road Trail Access. It's listed on Google Maps and a few other sources, but specifically omitted as a trail access on gaptrail.org itself. It's a roadside dirt lot that has space for about 4 vehicles. I suppose it's here for people who want short access to the viaduct just up ahead and don't want to walk the 1.5 miles from Meyersdale Trailhead itself. I suppose. I don't know if you heard it, but there was a gentleman walking down as I was recording that, and as I said, the reason why I think that may be there is he said, "That's me." So I guess I'm right. Obviously just passing to the Johnny Popper Road access point. Here's another one of those, oh wow, look at that, features on the Great Allegheny Passage, the 1,908 foot long Salisbury Viaduct. This is perhaps the most iconic structure on the Great Allegheny Passage. This magnificent piece of engineering soars over 100 feet above the valley, crossing first over the Mason-Dixon Highway, or Business US Route 219, the active CSX rail line, the Highway US 219, and the Castleman River before reaching the other side. Spend some time on this if you're biking, and if you're walking, you'll have all the time you want to take in the 360-degree views of the surrounding forests and farmland. It's the longest trestle span on the Great Allegheny Passage, and it's a magnificent place to watch the sunrise or sunset, and it's truly breathtaking during a foggy fall morning. So at the other end here, I'm going to stop for a minute so that you can just take in this wonderful vista here from the other side. The Hundrick Mountain in the distance there and the wind farm all the way across it. Wind farms have become fairly popular here along the Allegheny Mountain range. So here at Gap Mouth 33.9, it's the burial site of Meyersdale's founder, Peter Meyers, and several family members. Unfortunately, one of the stones seems to have fallen, and I've seen this last year and it hasn't been restored yet. So shout out to whoever's taking care of this burial ground. I think we would do well to restore that stone. So after passing the Myers burial ground, the trail maintains this approximate 0.5% to maybe less than 1% downslope all the way, the rest of the way to Garrett. This is another nice peaceful little segment of the trail that can kind of lure you in and relax you. Farmland on either side here. Nice and peaceful, quiet, not a lot of cars. Your occasional passing cyclist or cycle group. Quaint homes on the side here. Who needs yoga? Dirt road called Planter Street off on the right there. Some more rolling farmland, and as you can just see, one of the farm vehicles just cutting across there to their farmland on the other side here. Right here at this section though, you want to really be careful because this is a crossing for the farm implements and there are a couple of ruts there. So just be careful whenever you're crossing that. Wildlife. So just past that farm property, here's another section where the trail goes through this narrow cut right around this curve here. Nice and shaded most of the time. Pretty cool. Getting close to Garrett itself. Remember I mentioned that Planter Street, that seemingly dirt road crosses across here and goes on the other end of Garrett whenever we get down there. And so now we've reached the Garrett trailhead here at Gap Mouth 36.5. Now this may seem like a run-of-the-mill typical trailhead, but there are plans afoot that we'll talk about next time. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this Great Allegheny Passage segment from Meyersdale to Garrett. It's an easy sub 10-mile ride with one of the most incredible views on the entire trail with the iconic Salisbury Viaduct. The fact that Meyersdale is one of the premier trailheads along the Great Allegheny Passage makes it a perfect staging point for anybody who wants to travel on the Great Allegheny Passage in either direction. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time for another episode of Secrets of the Trails. Have a great ride.